What is the most difficult part of the storytelling process? If that question has ever been on your mind, then you're going to want to stick around because that's what we'll be discussing on our break today after our first writing sprint of 20 minutes. Welcome to Kauffman Writes. I'm Kauffman, and this is the daily creative writing live stream to give you some inspiration, help you finish your story, and just find a way to come hang out with other creative writers. We'll be hopping straight into our first 20-minute writing sprint. We'll be doing two. I'm going to cue it off with our music because who doesn't love a good writing session without some good vibes? All right, so let me throw up our music from our very own DJ Atomic Elf. By the way, Atomic Elf, if you're here, thank you, thank you. This has become my new favorite playlist. Hey, what's up, Silent Tro in the house? Thanks for stopping by, Silent. How's the writing vibes been treating you this recently? I'm early this time. Yes, you made 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, Monday through Friday. That's kind of what I've been sticking to. It's seeming to work. Atomic Elf, right when I mentioned you, I'm like, yep, I got your playlist. I've really been digging your original fantasy playlist. So cue up daily 20-minute writing sprints. By the way, Atomic, how's the development coming on your stories? Are you still sticking with 5 books, the 5-part book series? All right, I got Last Scarecrow queued up. We're gonna do our daily 20-minute writing sprint. And you're in luck, because if you were here yesterday, then you know our hero, the Scarecrow, is at the very beginning of a huge action sequence. So we're going to see if he can survive the first match of this Coliseum. Oof, man, this is going to be interesting. All right, so as you know, when I need to get back into it, I'm going to start off, have to read through the last little section. I'm going to start the timer 20 minutes. As this is part of the process. So 20 minutes on the clock, and let's write. So let's see. Gold scales soared a little lower to gain a better vantage point. The lead primate stepped towards the brazier of the last and tossed the stone in the giant brazier. Blue and yellow flames roared to life from within. The brazier's flames shot up into the sky. Whoa, Pebble cried, as gold scales flew to a position, just barely dodging the stream of blue and yellow flames. The beam of flame spread out into a bluish yellow that covered the fighting blue, protecting it with a sort of flame shield mirage. Hey, not fair, Pebble screamed as the flame covering now separated them from the activity below. As the flame shield now separated them from clearly watching the activity below. How are we supposed to see through that? Barely. Our advantage is lost, Gold Scales acknowledged. We must find my siblings and re-enter after the round. Pray your Scarecrow. Pray your friend is capable. Pebble leaned off Gold Scales a little bit, fighting back against the wind that shot up at them. Stupid Scarecrow, you better not die, or I'll kill you. And I'm gonna add one last. Gold Scales pulled away. Scales pulled away from the fighting arena. Gold Scales pulled away from the fighting arena as the activity below. Gold Scales pulled away from the fighting arena as the activity below. As movement below increased. as the activity below became more chaotic. All right, I like that. Let's do that. Oh yeah, for sure. I feel that. All right. Let's see where we're at. All right. So the last scarecrow. All right. The last scarecrow backed against the wall as the flames from the brazier covering their fighting arena. Like, all right, that's not a full statement. The last scarecrow backed against the wall. The last scarecrow backed against the wall as the flames from the brazier, as the flame shield. Say flame shield for now. The flame shield covered the fighting arena. The fighting arena. Animals. The animal prisoners left and right. Left. Animal prisoners left and right stood. Looked around. Looked around in a frenzied panic. Marchak pounded his chest triumphantly, hopped into the edge of the brazier, and cried maniacally, "Let the glory begin! Let the glory begin!" All right. Whew, man. All right, this is crazy. All right, that was a really good first writing sprint. I'm like already eager to get back into it. Wow, I'm having fun. I think what I've realized, especially with these scenes where I'm introducing a bunch of different animals, I think what I'm trying to determine is what are going to be the best types of animals to include in this section of the book that will really best serve the action and the this part of the story. I think right now I'm playing around with different animal types. In the second draft, I already know that I'll probably end up cleaning up the the animals that I think would be the most effective. So, well, we'll get back we'll get to that. All right. So, good 20-minute writing sprint. We'll return with another 20-minute writing sprint after this break. So 10 minutes on the clock. Awesome. Okay. So I'm gonna let me drop the question. So I'm gonna do something that I did similar to yesterday. Let's see, let's make that perfect. So I'm going to do something where I did similar to yesterday. I'm going to change up my screen and I'm going to go throw up. So I threw up this same question on my socials or on one of the social pages on Facebook recently. And we're going to go deal with some actual questions by real writers who are struggling with the same exact problem. Every writer deals with different types of challenges when it comes to the storytelling process. All right, and let's go to all right, so similar as to what I did yesterday, I don't need that right now. Alright, so as you can see, something that I did was I posted this question up on socials just to see how, writers responded to it. I like to answer questions that writers are actually dealing with. So, as I'm going through some of these questions, I'm kinda like I'm seeing what the problems are, and then I'm like, "Alright, well, those are things that I can actually deal with." Don't go throw up. What is the most difficult part of the storytelling process? You're like, "Ah, this character is so cringe. I need a bag quick." Happens to the best of us, Atomic. That happened to me. I, like, nearly wanted to throw up at one of the characters that I wrote earlier in this, in this novel. Alright, so let's see, what do we got? So, difficult part, when I try to talk to my characters and they give me the silent treatment. Ooh, that's a rough one. Do your characters ever come to life when you're, like, storytelling and then you're like, "Alright, it's going smoothly," and then you hit a point where like, just nothing's coming to you? It's like classic writer's block. I feel like once my characters get to a point in the development process, they kinda start speaking to me, and some writers have been like, "Alright, well, that's kinda crazy," but I'm like, "I actually think that's normal for a writer." Like, you probably get to a point with your storytelling where your characters and your world come to life. That's actually a great thing. Try to Awesome. So, if you're hearing this stream, I'm curious, for you, what is the most difficult part of the storytelling process? Are there any things that you struggle with, which I'd be more than happy to chat through? For me, one of my original problems used to be finishing things. I have probably anywhere between 50 to 100 stories in my back catalog, but I have so many things that are in different stages of the drafting process. It's like some are in a rough draft, some are close to final draft, but so many of the things I never put out for the world to see. And whether that was a result of me just being in fear of how it would be perceived, or whether I was too busy, or whatever the excuse was, the things are there. So I think understanding, at least for myself, I was like, all right, well, maybe I had a fear of finishing things. So one of the things that I did was I forced myself to sit down one day and I just wrote the last page of a story that I'd been working on forever. I'm like, all right, now it's finished. It might be a load of garbage because a third of the story's missing, but it's finished. And I felt accomplished because I pushed myself to do something that I otherwise wouldn't have thought of. And then after I finished it, I'm like, actually, this wasn't that great of a story. I was like, all right, well, I don't really need to go back to it. Not that big of a deal. All right. And let's see. Let's see, sequels. I'm good with dialogue, but adding context is torture. You know what? We were actually talking about sequels and working on different storylines, I think a couple of days ago. And I know Atomic, actually, I know you're doing clearly a series right now. What I've learned when working from a bigger narrative is planning and plotting out your overall story before the first book is published, because then you're allowing yourself the time to add the context, add the plot holes, the red herrings, the things that readers can think back to in books 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or however many books you want to do. Awesome. I think that is always a good piece of advice. Excellent. And let's see. Right now, I'm working on my protagonist's character flaws, and shards of glass. Ooh, flaws and shards of glass. I realized last night that novelists are like psychiatrists. Yes. 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 S- Novelists are like psychiatrists for imaginary people. Atomic, that's the quote of the day. Oh my god, that is quite honestly the perfect quote. I like quote psychiatrists. Novelists are like psychiatrists for novelists are like psychiatrists for imaginary people. That is Atomic. You got my favorite quote of the day. That's like that is absolutely favorite quote of the day. I've never done this, but you get the favorite quote of the day. That is perfect. Yeah, especially because all of our characters are up here until it actually gets put out onto into a book or onto a screen, like like that, like that's the truth. I feel like I felt like a psychologist all my life because I have to psychoanalyze people, but then I also have to psychoanalyze my characters and understand like, all right, now protagonist, last scarecrow, tell me about your problems and how does that make you feel? Oh, that's great. Finishing. Oof, I was actually just talking about finishing. Let's see. The good one with finishing so long. Recommend. Try this. Usually, when I reply to people, I usually do a little bit more editing, but for all intents and purposes, that's usually a strategy that I recommend that's worked well for me. Right, so it's like when you finish, if you're just you wanna think about the psychological aspect of it. So, if you're stuck not finishing stuff, it's probably because a lack of either work ethic or maybe it's a fear, right? It could be any number of things based on what you're dealing with. So, something that worked for me was I would just go write the last page of it, or in that instance, I wrote the last chapter, and I considered the story finished. And then when I thought back to the entire story, I could tell myself, like, is this actually a good story that needs to be done? Or can I just consider this complete and moved on? Because sometimes, like, you write a story and it's not, you hit a point where it's not as engaging as you thought it would be. And I think it's better for you to psychologically put it into a place of like, okay, I do want to come back and I want to develop this more, or be like, okay, I finished this, but it's just not that good. Right. And I'm just going to put it into a pile where I'm not going to think about it again. That way we don't have all these projects looming in the back of our minds. All right, perfecto. So I did a couple of those. Let me know if that helps you at all. I always trying to find new ways to provide innovative value for y'all. What is the most difficult part of the storytelling process? For what is now, as I think about right now, what's the most difficult part? Um, I think I'm in kind of a special situation where my storytelling, like you're joining me along in the journey and watching my storytelling process happening live. The entire story of The Last Scarecrow, you've been watching it from the first word all the way to where we're at. Let's see, let me pull up my count again. Where was I? My word count 49,000. So literally I'm about to hit 50,000 words, but you've been here with me since word number 1, and you'll be here with me as I continue to get all the way to the 100,000 word mark. So I'd say my biggest challenge has been, how do I develop a story in a way that's creative for me, but it also feels engaging in both a live stream format and a creative format. And I found that for me, it's continuing to balance and stay true to the reasons that I love writing, and then also kind of sharing my passion and the parts of my process with you. And I'm hoping that if just being able to like watch another writer's process, that will help you in the long term. So if you're struggling with different parts of the storytelling process, drop it in the question or what you're dealing with in the comments below. I'd love to give you a strategy to help you overcome it, or you can just kick back, relax, and watch others' strategies. And by the way, if you're enjoying this stream, follow and subscribe. I do this daily creative writing live stream every single day. I'll be here, live writing experience. It's kind of like a creative writing group where you don't have to commit to. You can just show up. I'll be here every day. So whether or not you want to come with some writing discussions, writing sprints, let's have some fun. My goal is to influence more creative writing in the world. All right, and show that writing can actually be an easier process if you figure out how to make it consistent and efficient for your lifestyle. If you're working 40, 50, 60-hour weeks, you have a family and you're busy and you're trying to push yourself to write every day, that might not be sustainable. And then you're going to feel burnt out. And then you're going to start hating yourself because you're like, oh, well, I'm never writing. I'm not a writer. When in truth, you're just setting unrealistic expectations and goals for yourself. So trust me, I dealt with it. I tried working on my stuff when I was doing 80-hour work weeks between 3 jobs. The struggle is real sometimes. Sometimes you're at a point in your life where you're not even able to write. Sometimes you're just too busy. But then sometimes you're busy, but then you end up just procrastinating and putting it off. And I've been there as well. There's been years where I've been writing all the time. There's been years where I didn't write at all. The years where I didn't write at all, I thought I wasn't a writer because I wasn't writing at all. But the truth is, I'm always going to be a writer. I was either being lazy or I was too busy. And trying to find that middle ground, that clarity for me was when I started to find success. All right, so let's drop this. We're gonna hop straight back into our writing sprint number 2. All right, and we're right in the middle of this battle scene. Oof! All right, I'm excited. All right, let's throw up. We need battle music. All right, let's see if the our scarecrow's in the middle of an arena with a bunch of animals fighting each other. Let's see if our scarecrow hero is going to survive this onslaught. Oh, that's right. Let me pull back up the writing screen. All right. And once again, if you're just joining us on the live stream, and let's say it's been a really long week for you so far, or long past couple of days, feel free to just kick back and you can watch as I'm writing, chill with the music, and I'll write vicariously for the both of us. Or let's say you're feeling good right now, work on some part of the your storytelling process. It doesn't have to be the writing. I consider the writing process development, writing, editing, the whole shebang. All right, let's do it. All right, that's not the right one. All right, 20 minutes on the clock, daily writing sprint number 2, and that's right. Like, okay, I guess we're gonna have two adorable animals fighting at each other. We add a moment of comedy. I'm just imagining all these like terrifying animals are like trying to kill each other, and then they just see like a panda and a sloth just like rolling in circles, just like smacking each other. Oh my god! All right, I guess we're gonna do that. I know. R.I.P. Eagle. I was like, I had to kill off an animal, and an eagle is like a cool. Eagles are known for being very like noble creatures. So I was like, I think that was a good one. Kind of sad though. I know. Alright, that's the chapter. That is the chapter. Alright. That is a freaking chapter. Oh my god, that was the most intense chapter I've written of this book so far. Man, I was like clearly I know I went well over my writing sprint, but like, dang, that was really good. I was like I was so into it. Oh my goodness, that was crazy. I When trying to emulate action scenes, I know that I try to adjust the way that I'm doing the action and the dialogue and the interiority by shortening the pacing, the length, and the style. My goal is to try to create that effect of having of that it's like you have to be present in the moment or you're gonna die. And I feel like some parts of it I was super successful, and some parts I'm like definitely gonna have to go back and fix that on the next draft. But overall, I was really, really, truly glad how that this first wow, this first round turned out. Oof, man. If you're watching this on the live stream, how did that look to you? Like, what were you able to get a clear enough image of kind of the fighting going on with all these different creatures and the chaos that's kind of happening? Oh man. I was like, I almost feel like I'm out of breath like thinking about it. Oof, man, and that is only the beginning. Wow. I was like, I had so much fun with that. That was by far the most complex chapter that I've yeah, I think this was the most complex chapter that I've done so far because I've had to weave together so many different actions, characters, and interiority and sequences into one chapter. And I know as I refine it in the second draft, I'm going to have to really refine like, okay, do these animals actually work? Do I use different animals? Does the dialogue work? Does it feel? I was like, that'll be fun when I get to the second draft. Oh man. Oof, man, I feel very accomplished. As you can see how much fun it is when you get into the into the action of a story. Let's see. Atomic. I was focusing on my own story. That's good. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad you were getting some work done on your own writing, my friend. I got some good scene synopsis done. Excellent, excellent place to be. I find whenever I get not necessarily stuck, but whenever I'm at a point in my story, I have to go back and pull up the outline. Like I have my outline minimized over here, but like some days I just don't need it, right? There's some days where I'm like here, but then I have my outline clearly set up. I'll pull it up so you guys can see it. Where did we get to? So we got the last chapter 26. Let's see. Oh, that's right. I think I added right. So you see, like I have the outline for my overall chapters, but then as I'm writing, I end up creating more chapters because more story needs to be told. That's right. Chapter 25 was the Tiger King. Oh, maybe I froze. Well, Weird. I don't know why it does that sometimes. But, awesome. I know, I was literally pulling up I was just finishing that what was that? I was just updating the outline on my end. Yeah, it's kinda funky, like, sometimes the internet is a little funky. It's probably because I'm doing a little bit more right now. But I'm kinda saving, like, I guess I could probably plug in my through a wired connection more frequently. Right now, I'm just doing it on busier days, but I haven't seemed to have, problems with the internet connectivity, at least during the week, generally. Seems to only be an issue on weekends right now, probably when there's more going on. Oh, sweet, thanks, Vaughn, appreciate it. Much appreciated, my man. Let's see. Oh, so focus on my own story. Got some good. That's awesome. Yeah, I think I don't know where the internet cut out. All right. I have too much going on right now, and I'm not plugged in. So, all right. So where it was, so I got the first fight to the death. Chapter 27. I don't think we're at the last escape yet. Ooh, what is my next chapter 27? Chapter 27 is going to be now, after like an intense fight like that, I'm like usually like, okay, so we need like a downtime moment to balance it out. But I think because I'm so close to the midpoint, I think we're going to keep up the action because we just basically saw Scarecrow nearly killed. He was literally saved. That entire sequence, the Scarecrow is literally saved. Like the Scarecrow doesn't really do anything to really protect himself. He's not a fighter. He's basically he's basically almost killed by the elephant, but he's saved by Gore and Stretch. And then he's nearly killed by a flying bird. And then he's nearly killed by the rabbit. So he's nearly killed on 3 separate occasions. But if it wasn't for those around him, he would have died. And once again, he was only saved as an indirect result that more animals in the arena died before him. So let's see. Yeah, I think this will be good. The Great Escape. So I think that's going to be chapter 27. I'm thinking about it. Midpoint for me, it's either going to be 27 or 28. I think midpoint is going to be 28. I am like so excited that I finally got to this point. I've been like dying to write the midpoint for like for a few weeks now. um Midpoint. I know that. I don't have a chapter. Oh, I realized I don't have. There you go. Yeah. So it's like I realized I don't have that chapter pulled up. All right, and that's what we'll get to experience and explore tomorrow. We'll see what's going on with Pebble and Crow as they just witnessed. Interesting little onslaught. So super excited about that. Glad y'all were able to get some own work done on your own stories. That is always so exciting. So with that writing sprint, let's see. Tomorrow I'll be here, same time, same place. As usual, my weekdays, Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I'll be here writing. Come and join me. And let's see, you're AI, aren't you? That's exactly what it is. How'd you guess? All of the writing is done by AI. Oh my god, I'd have to be pretty clever to have pulled off AI writing since, over the past, what was that, 79 days now. Wow, crazy. Max headroom. Oh my goodness. Whew. It's just all that creativity. It's, all these animals. But, something I am using AI for, I'm gonna use AI to design some of the, graphics, probably some of the graphics, maybe to show what I think the characters should be. When I get closer to it being, like, ready for publication, I'll probably hire some graphic designers, but for now, I'm kinda thinking of, like, what do I want some, like, rough images to look like for my characters? And let me tell you, some of the things that we're seeing, like, some of the AI stuff out there that they're saying is, like, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Alright. So with that being said, I feel like we got some good writing in today. I'm going to call it a stream, but don't forget to like the stream on your way out. If you got any value today from the writing sprints or the discussion, just let me know that you appreciated it. Hit that like button. I'd appreciate you. And that is all that I got for you today, my friends. Keep getting some writing in, keep vibing, and don't be too hard on yourself. Tomorrow is another day for writing. Good luck with the rest of your day, my writing friends. I'm Kauffman, and I'll catch y'all on the morrow. Peace out, guys.